Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, Defiant Spur, and this is my review of the Tier 6 Chinese light tank, the 5916. Um, Historically, they built a few prototypes of it, then they realised it sucked awfully and couldn't compete in any way against any tank that was being fielded by any other developed nation on the planet. So they got rid of it. But of course we have it here, and as ever, my tank review will be done with a 75% trained crew with 0 skills, just so you've got a nice baseline with which to judge your expectations from. Yeah, as much as I love a lot of the more skilled players, their footage doesn't actually reflect what many people are going to experience when they first buy a tank. So that's why I do it like this. As you can see, it's a compact little vehicle. Nothing special to look at. It's got an engine, posted top speed of 60 kph, which isn't bad. Very little gun depression. Again, it's that Chinese feature that Wargaming have decided the tanks must have. Even though later on it doesn't make much sense when some of the tanks are designed specifically to fight in hilly and mountainous areas. Flick through here. As you can see, no armour. Distressingly little armour, even compared to some of the other tier 6 tanks. My one tip for this tank, other than don't get shot, is don't go out hunting wolf packs of light tanks. Your other light tanks can do anti-light tank patrol quite nicely. This tank is just fodder for every other light tank in the game. Even tier 5 light tanks are going to eat you up if you're not careful, and especially things like the Chaffee. And oh god, I'd hate to think what some of those rapid-fire British guns would do to you. Anyway, if you look at the tank comparison stats, comparing it to the MT25, and you can see they're very, very similar. It's a little bit slower with the forward speed. It requires it's a bit more expensive to buy, XP-wise, I believe. Yeah, less crew, weaker engine. But very, very similar, and with similar play styles. Now, one thing you'll notice from this is that it has less hit points and less armour than the MT25, which isn't exactly an armoured tank, but it's got enough armour that it can take a little bump here and there as it's zipping around, active scouting. It can hide in a bush, do a little bit of passive scouting, and not explode straight away from a little bit of splash from a nearby Hi-Ex shell. This tank, the 5916, can't really do any of that particularly well. When you're active scouting, you have to be very, very careful. Like I said earlier, don't go out trying to stop the light tank rush. You've got to play it safe, survive for as long as possible in the game. It's going to be mid to late game when you're going to be the most use. Get a few spots early on in the game, scout out the field, but run like hell when those Reds start pushing forward, because they will spot you and they will kill you easily. Every tank which can fire Hi-Ex will be able to kill you within a couple of shots. And the AP rounds will just go straight through you. So we'll cut to some battle footage in a moment. The first load of battle footage were taken pretty much as soon as I picked up the tank, and I have to say I didn't enjoy the process at all. I came pretty close just to scrapping the entire line right there and then. But, I persevered, and after several months of not playing light tanks, my light tank brain began kicking in again. So yeah, here we go. This is our first game. As you can see, it's a cute little tank, although the decal spots for the googly eyes are rubbish. We're top tier, which is nice. And this is a good map for light tanks. The red team does have a lot of light tanks. An awful lot. Now, at this point I hadn't played a light tank since the big light tank rejig a year ago now? Probably. So, yeah. Let's see how bad I can be. Now we're hitting 57 kph quite comfortably. Just going to go stick my nose over the crest of the hill and run away. One spot. Ooh, running away. Ooh. That was not nice. managed not to just ram him horribly. Now, as you can see here, the green team are kind of playing the objective, but they've forgotten all about those little things like map control. And yeah, at this point I was trying to draw attention to the fact that we were being flanked horribly. I was telling artillery to relocate because there were fast movers moving in. And yeah, I believe artillery was actually listening. He did move a bit. A little bit of map pinging there. Now, I'm just trying to keep mobile. And it may sound a bit harsh, but I'm also trying to keep a few of the greens in between me and the reds. Panzer 5-4, it's a beast of a tank. Now, I knew exactly where those light tanks are going. They're going to go kill our artillery and then start brutalising the arse end of the green column, which is sitting there. So, I thought I'd do the heroic thing and engage the light tanks. Okay, accuracy on the move is not great. I can probably fit vert stabs. Ow, got hit. 75, such low damage. I mean, I could aim, but like I said, I hadn't played this game. Well, hadn't played light tanks for quite a while, and I was just so out of practice. More hit. See, and that's a tier 4 tank, and it's tearing me apart. Its manoeuvrability is probably equal to mine. Another good hit. Ooh, ouch. And I got blown up by the 5-4. So yeah, this re-emphasises my point of you can't afford to go engaging light tank rushes in this thing. In other light tanks you can. Now I say that if you've got an experienced crew with lots of skills, and look, the Artie goes and drowns himself. Seriously, what a coward. That so annoys me. I mean, that really did as well, because I sacrificed myself to give him plenty of time to relocate, and that's what he goes and does. Moron. Anyway, yeah, if you've got a really experienced crew with lots of skills, maybe a better equipment loadout, you can probably, you know, take on a light tank or two. I mean, certainly now, after playing, what, 20-30 games this tank, and my reactions are back up to speed and I'm more familiar with it, I'd be quite comfortable going, you know, at least harassing enemy light tanks. So, on to the next footage. Go, let's get into it. Okay, here we go. Well, okay, matchmaking, and it's a map I quite like. So I'm going to push forward, see if I can light up any of the reds which are hopefully overlooking the circle. Now, as ever, I'm expecting half my team just to ignore the cap and just go off in random directions, completely not play the objective. Nobody spots me, I spot nobody. Zip round here. It handles very well, as you can see. It's quite manoeuvrable. It doesn't feel as drunk as the MT25 does. I'm glad I'm not down there, because I'd be so very dead. So I'm going to put that gun into action. And I miss. This is just terrible, terrible shooting by me. What about you? Can I hit you? There we go. Ooh, 89 damage. That 57mm really knows how to punish them. Now I noticed I'd got spotted then, and well, somebody was targeting me. Haven't got sixth sense, it's just the usual detected. And it's because there was a big and fat ugly medium tank using me as body armour. I mean, seriously guys, why do that? Anyway, I decide to still lurk around on the top of this hill here, just so I can keep eyes over the objective. I'm also really marvelling at how that light tank down there is still alive. Now, this is actually the second game I played in this tank, and I've learned very, very quickly that this tank can't brawl or fight other tanks particularly well. Not with an untrained crew and the stock package. But with the constant XP bonuses they're throwing out these days, I'm not expecting to stay at stock for very long at all. Ah, an absolution. Hit his track, that's good. Ooh, I can hit you there. Oh, apparently I can't. There we go. 80 damage. Yeah, you run away. Ooh, 75. See, it's moments like this I wish I was playing the long bomb, the tier 5 mercenary TD, because those things can eat up absolutions. See, the gun's quite accurate stock with a poorly trained crew. But the penetration is so lackluster. I mean, I think the penetration on the premium rounds isn't too bad. But I'm just not going to waste premium at this point. Determined to get a couple more shots in on that Hellcat. Come on. Boom! And I'm on fire! That was the artillery hit me. Good shot by Artie. That was my greed. So pulling back, I'm doing okay. Right, let's head off, move somewhere else. That hill's far too hot to stay on. Realistically, I guess I should have done it earlier. Woody's moved around a little bit. As you can see, I've got binocs and camo on board, and I've also got optics. Going up around here. It's quite sad that I'm one of the last tanks left. And there they all are. Boom. One shot. Tracked. 5. Little kiss and I die. Yeah. See, I get a feeling if I was in my MT25, I would have been all over that map. I would have been doing handbrake circles around tanks, murdering them with the faster rate of fire on its guns. But hey ho, this is what I did. And I came top of the board. That's really depressing. Really, really depressing. Just checking the absolution there, see if he actually did anything. Anyway, to the next battle. Okay, top tier again. On Prokhorovka, the mythical map that Chopper doesn't get that much. Chopper sorry. Now, we've got a good number of light tanks. They've got loads of light tanks. At this point, I'd learnt my lesson. I figured, do my usual light tank routine. My MT25 loves this map. So it's just going to push forward, nose the ridge, and then just zigzag up and down the middle. No problem. But then, of course, I noticed that the entire team is going this way. So, sod that. There's no point having all of your light tanks in one area. Unless you're wolf packing. Which is kind of where the game meta is at the moment, isn't it? Light tanks are basically just form high-speed wolf packs. They don't really go out scouting anymore. So, I realise nobody's on the big hill on the east flank there, so I decided to relocate. Yeah, somebody spanked me from over there. And not in the good way. So yeah, it's mobile, it's manoeuvrable, and I feel it does handle better than the MT25. But it is a big target. It feels like it's bigger than something like the AMX 12T, which is another tank I really enjoyed at the same tier. And another tank which will just eat these things up for snacks. Okay, pushing the top of the hill, gonna find a nice spot. Now, this light tank just ignored me, which I'm quite happy about. I'm a bit suspicious, but I figured I'd just go over here, maybe pop up my binocs, put a bit of covering fire down. Now this is the 57mm gun. So yeah, side shots it should be able to pen a good number of vehicles. There we go. And he has no idea where I am. Now this is one of the areas where this tank does do very well in, especially with the 57mm. The larger gun has got 0.4 accuracy, and most of these shots would just be missing. But the larger gun package I find does very well if you're doing a lot of active light tank support, where you are handbrake circling around enemy vehicles and smashing them in the side with the bigger shells, and doing sort of more medium range sniping.
Target locked. We hit him hard. That one ricocheted.
Yeah. I'm keeping an eye on that light tank as well. It's got a good rate of fire.
Penetration.
And the aim time is not bad either.
We've got a lock.
And it's not like with something like the Matilda, where the reload is faster than the aim time, because that's awful. I mean, it's a great tank, but it does mean that if you just hold the trigger down, you burn up all of your ammo without hitting the side of a barn. Now I just edge forward a little bit more, see if I can extend the range on my binocs. Again, being very careful because I have no idea where that light tank's gone. And obviously there's that
Focus on
is
this
that Churchill that was down there. And a big heavy British tank like that can really spoil your day.
Target locked. We barely grazed him.
Yeah,
Reloading.
just not penning a lot of these shots.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
Didn't pen.
They've
Didn't
spotted us.
pen. And at this point I realise that, oh my god, the Churchill's coming to get me. So I get out of there. Now see, this was a mistake. What I think I should have done is just zipped round and started engaging the Churchill straight away. I mean, this gives it a huge opportunity just to get free shots in on my ass. Which I can't remember if it does or not.
Enemies looking
And it also means, yeah, I've got to close that distance again. See, gets one shot in on me, 2 shots in on me,
that one drilled straight
but I'm penning, which is a surprise.
through. Driver, going nowhere fast.
Oh, I'm
That one did some damage. They've spotted us.
so close, so close.
Attention here.
And just want to keep as much stuff in between me and that tank as possible. Hope it gets bored of trying to shoot me and goes for a softer target, which hopefully it will do now the medium tank has started engaging it. So I then pull back up again.
We just dinged them.
Again, I'm not aiming, I'm being lazy. But I penned him.
Enemies looking
Oh.
right at us.
Boom!
Find us another target.
Now that made me very happy. That's a nasty tank to come up against. But those mistakes I made have left me with very little health. And it's this stage of the game where you need that health. I really shouldn't have given it away so easily. But what can I say? I'm an easy date.
She's flooding. Get us to dry land. Focus on this area.
Now I'm trying to find out where these TDs are. I'm expecting them to be camping at the back there. I'm also worried that one of them could be along the A line, so like A9, A0.
Enemies got us in their
Somebody's
sights.
targeting me. I'm running away. Trying to make use of the terrain. And there they both are. And they're both in pretty much full health. It's always a T67.
Gun loaded.
I've lost count of the number of the games where the last tank on the red team at these tiers is a T-67.
Friendly vehicle destroyed.
I should have gone to IX.
We pierced their armor. Enemies looking right at us.
Oh, so close. But that Soviet tank destroyer was staring at me quite angrily. Well, I'm still feeling quite optimistic. I'm worried about that guy. He can
Penetration.
get so little damage. If I had the 76mm, I would have been doing 150 alpha, 120 alpha, which is much better. If it had hit. Now, at this point, I want to move up there just to see if I can proxy spot the TDs. And
Ready to fire on
also
target.
get in a position where maybe I can snipe on the T-67 without him getting shots on at me. Now this is another one of my really bad mistakes. Bearing in mind I came down here to try to proxy keep that Soviet tank destroyer proxy spotted. Now you'll notice what I'm not doing here. That's right, I'm not paying attention to the map, where this chunky little chap has trundled on over and had himself a snack. So this leaves us 2-1, and both of our tanks are on a slither of their health. Sliver, sorry. Now I decided to stay with him to see how it's going to go. No, don't explode! Now I've not actually played my Thunderbolt yet. I really should do at some point. Completed all of the wintertime ops to get the little thing. Should play it. Apparently it's okay. Now see, the Stuart here is doing a nice little job at keeping him proxy spotted. And they're both staring at each other angrily. Of course, yeah, I missed the days where the Stuart... Is it a Stuart? Yeah, I think it is. Had the derp gun. That was awesome. Those were great days. Here we go, the medium's engaged. Come on, little light tank. No, I manages to get behind him. One. Boom! And we get the win. I mean, that was a tense game, but fun. Wouldn't have been so tense if I hadn't made those terrible, terrible mistakes. So yeah, 951 damage, not amazing, very little assisted. And on to the next one. Okay, now this is the tank with its middle package, which is considered the recon package. It's got the larger 76mm 54-76T gun, rate of fire 15 rounds a minute, 115 alpha, 138 pen, reload 3.8, aiming time 2, and only 0.4 accuracy. But it's got all of the manoeuvrability packages on this tank, so it handles a bit better, it's a bit faster accelerates, as you can tell, and feels a little bit more like the MT-25 without, like I said earlier, like the MT-25 without the crazy drunkenness.
I see one of them.
Got a couple of spots in, and yeah, going to go down the tunnel. I don't know what it is, but very few people use this thing, or even attempt to flank over the top of this map. They all hug the big banana in the middle, or go through the ruins. Yeah, I'm wondering whether I should go back and engage that light tank. I thought maybe he was going to pop down here after us, but there's enough greens there dealing with him. He should be okay. Need to support this Fury. T-67 again. Don't want to shunt him into line of fire. The Fury, that's a dangerous tank. And bad driving. Okay, with 2 of us, I'm not too worried about this guy. I'm just going to drive up over the top, get 1 shot in, and the Fury eats him up. Now, the problem when it comes to active scouting of this tank is the lack of gun depression. You can't peekaboo over hills and take shots quite so well. Can engage this guy. I think we all are. Went over him. Nice little turn. Okay. 2 spots, 2 hits, very little damage still. Going to move up again to support this guy. He's taking some big hits. I've got a lot of health, so I figured I can push quite hard. KV1? Yeah, not too worried. Ouch. I should be. But, you know, I've got a Fury supporting me, so... As you can see, the turret quite can't keep up when you handbrake turn. There we go, got the kill. Down to 1/3 of my health, but we've stomped the red team. Now here again is another amazing bit of map failure on my part. So desperate to get shots in on these guys. But I don't notice the red tank creeping up behind me. And no, it's a Chaffee. Now I do like the look of this tank with the bigger gun. Yeah, as you can see, once you get to this stage, it handles quite well, and it can throw out a bit more damage, which is nice. Okay, here we are, salvage yard, and we're bottom tier. Now at this stage I've got the top package on the tank, which is the 57mm gun with the mobility packages from earlier. It's considered the attack package because you've got that better accuracy, higher rate of fire, but you do have the terrible penetration and terrible alpha. Now I wasn't expecting much this game. Bottom tier with still a untrained crew. I think I was about 3-4% away from actually getting them up to fully trained at this stage. But I figured, you know, if I can just go up on top of the hill and sweep over the crest, spot some reds, run away. At least then I would have done something. And then hopefully fall back, save myself for later on in the game. Though you know, on this map, the tanks with the the tanks with the best view range are king. And yeah, I'm not going to face you. Even firing premium, I can't touch a Chrysler. Oh, just pull back over here. But I don't want to pull back all the way because that could stall the green assault. I've got a lot of light vehicles up here. Cromwell, the Ariete. At this point I figured there's enough for us, maybe I can just distract them, circle around. But now I'm taking too much fire, everybody's just eating me up. The MT-25 would have rolled over then. I'm pretty certain. I think most of my crew are probably dead. The tank's a lot more sluggish at the moment. But you know, I've done my bit, I've got a shot. I'm very conscious that the other flank looks like they could be in a position where one extra tank could help them up against whatever that medium is. And then hopefully I could sweep up the 1-2 line. Seeing if I can get any shots in on these guys. Really I should have just carried on pushing towards the 1-2 line. Although, There's events reveal later on. Perhaps I did the right thing in not rushing over there. Because there goes the AMX 5100. And that light tank is getting picked on. But you know, 2 tanks, 3 versus 2. I think, oh, Pershing. Yeah. But yeah, we still stand a chance. No. Yeah, random shot, running away.
Loaded and ready. Dropping target.
Not spotted yet, which is good. Well, I could be, haven't got 6th sense. Now if that heavy tank at H5 plays it cool, he could be okay, because we've got a nice line of tanks over here who can provide covering fire. Come on.
Optics are up.
There we go. Well, that wasn't me, so your shot.
Let's go home.
85,
Been destroyed one of our
91,
tanks.
not bad.
Impressive
Boom!
kill.
Got a kill on a very, very dangerous tank. Oh, I so wanted to get a kill on that craft. T-32. Do I stand a chance? It's firing a few blind shots over there. Not really expecting to do anything, but you can break his concentration, make him a bit more nervous, and allow one of the other guys to get a good shot in. Also saying maybe I can track him, you never know. I'm not entirely sure. Not shooting into the ground there.
Enemy down.
Boom! Another kill. Now even though that light tank's pulling back, I decided to push forwards. But carefully. And I seem to recall that I think I get a couple more shots in on the
Ready to fire on target.
T28 over there. This is quite far range, 539 metres. But I've spotted him, and I'm still getting some hits in, so this little gun isn't too bad.
Gotta hurt. Bounced right off him.
Now, I was trying to pull back there, see if I could just get a little bit more flat onto him. But no good. Oh, out of position now. And the big guns are opening hard up on him. And he's dead. See,
We did it. We won.
you look at the ribbons and the damage caused and the spotted, and compared to other light tanks it does look quite lackluster. But untrained crew does make a big difference. I mean, that performance was a 2nd class for this tank. Just gives you an idea of the requirements. Oh yeah. For bottom tier as well, not too bad. Look at that, that Ariat had a good game. But of course, it's a broken tank and it's been nerfed horribly. Oh, it's terrible! So, overall, my thoughts about the 5916. It's fragile, it's manoeuvrable and mobile, it's more stable than the MT25. The small package gun, the 57mm, is good. It's not a bad little sniping gun, but the low alpha and pen really do let it down. And the 76mm is, it's probably better at mid-range stuff. It's the gun I tend to use more often at the moment, even if it's just for the extra pen. So yeah, I think it's a nice tank, and I'm looking forward to putting a better trained crew in this tank, getting a bit more skilled footage in. Considering when I first started playing this tank, I absolutely hated it. It was terrible. and now it's really grown on me. Sure, it's not as powerful as some of the other light tanks or as robust, but it works. It can do its job. So yeah, definitely one worth looking at. Okay, take care guys.